Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I'm Javier Becerril, my colleague Javier Hernandez, and we will be presenting Sensapath today. Glaucoma, macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, cataracts, and nystagmus. Imagine not being able to see your way through this crowded street. In the words of Perkins School for the Blind, blindness is rarely absolute. There are currently over 21 million Americans who suffer from a non-corrective visual impairment, and there's 93 million more who are at high risk of developing one. You see, visual impairments is not something you're born with, necessarily, but something you develop later in life. These can be due because of diabetic retinopathy, age-related macular degeneration, and cataracts. This makes the individual feel dependent on others. It makes them feel that they cannot transverse to new environments and travel to new places. And overall, it's just difficult to transition from having normal vision to having a visual impairment. 44% of visually impaired individuals are currently employed, as comparison to 79% of those who have normal vision. This can be because they have lost hope in finding a job or doing the tasks they used to before. It also makes them feel that they lost confidence in their abilities and skills. 1 in 4 adults are reported to have anxiety or depression, and that is 5 times more prevalent in younger adults. Again, this could be because they have lost the ability to go out and do their normal life, or they just feel like they can't do that again anymore. Now, the government, they want to help this community out, and they want to provide resources and funds and opportunities to help them out, but they also have a financial reason to do so. You see, absenteeism, lost production, and informal care costs $35.5 billion every year. The current solutions in the market are traditional white canes, smart canes, and smart glasses. The smart cane is an irreplaceable item that guides the user through their daily lives and also helps them learn more about their environment through their sense of touch. The smart cane is in addition to the white cane that can detect objects and lets the user know of those objects that is in the way. Now, there's a new technology coming out, the smart glasses, that can do object recognition. Sensapath, however, wants to outshine all these different devices. We want to create something that guides, learns, and adapts to the user, and will provide a personalized and intuitive experience that is like no other device. We want to create a wearable device that will recognize objects, contextualize environments in relation to the user's activities, and relay information via haptic and audio feedback. The current global market is $5 billion for assistive technology in the visual impairment area, $2.1 billion in North America, and an estimated $1.4 billion in the United States alone. Now, there's 700,000 visually impaired individuals in Texas. Of these 700,000, 308,000 are estimated to be employed. That means that at the low end of $1,000 as compared to our competitors, we have a $300 million market opportunity. Now, similar to our competitors, we will have text recognition, text-to-speech, and object recognition. However, where we stand out is environmental contextualization. What does this mean? This means that we will identify objects in the user's daily life and then let them know what's going to happen next, what's going on around them. We will really help them understand what's going to happen in their environment, whether it's taking a walk or working in their office. We will really help them understand what is going on and what they need to do next. Educational institutions, government agencies, and corporations all have a duty and a need to provide tools and equipment to their employees and their students that will help them learn and to have more productivity in the work environment. How are we going to get there? Well, we will establish key partnerships with organizations, rehabilitation center, and advocacy groups where we will be able to provide information about our technology, and they will provide that to the end user. And they will also serve as a critical platform that serves as a word of mouth. Why is this important? Well, we learned that the users are very hesitant to use new technology and are only really comfortable with using new technology if they see somebody else wearing it, understand it, and if they get to test it out. So that's why it is very important to do so. This project started as a senior design project where we were able to go through the NSF I-Corps program and did some customer discovery. Here we were able to identify the customer needs and their pains. This helped us finish our first initial prototype, as you can see here, And now we're currently doing this program where we learn more about the technology out there and how it compares to ours and how we can improve on it and what the customer really, really needs. With $40,000, we are going to be able to do more research and development, finalize a better product, and then test it out and get some feedback. With this feedback, we're going to be able to we'll be able to gather some metrics that will be able to let us help us understand what the customer really needs and what companies and corporations really need. These metrics can be how we can improve productivity within the workforce, or how we can make the user's life just happier. I mean, if we make them, if we help them understand their environment and go out there and travel more, we did our job. So our founding team is myself, did a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and currently doing a computer science degree. Fabian Hernandez, he is doing he did a bachelor's in computer engineering, is currently doing a master's in computer science. And we have had many advisor mentors along the way, some being here, Mr. Lawrence Cano, Dr. Kamal Sarkar, Dr. Rosa Adams, Natalia del Garza, and Dr. Alejandro Tortoriello. So we feel that people should not be limited or feel limited on their capabilities and what they can do. I don't think it's fair that you are going out there and not be able to do what you did before in your previous, what you did before when you had normal vision. And it is important to continue this project because it is our vision to secure yours. Thank you.
All right. So going back to the market size, you said it was about 300 million, right? So
Right.
What is the target share that you guys are looking for out of that market?
Right, so from that example, we initially thought we wanted to go for everybody that had a visual impairment, but we understood that it was more important to go for those that are currently employed because the corporations, their employers are going to be able to pay for these devices. That is why it's of a $300 million market. From our knowledge right now, these other corporations are working in other areas of the United States and are currently expanding, and that's why we want to target Texas specifically, not because it's our home state, but also because it has a high demographic that needs these products.
I can be the second one. Tell me about your algorithms. I mean, you want to make it like third party for the beginning? You want to make your own algorithms? Or how you think on building that technology?
Right, so something we learned in this program is that there's a lot of technology out there that does object recognition, and it's something that we're targeting to do. However, we decided that we're going to pivot, and we want to, like I said, contextualize the environment. So we want to be able to develop AI, not just that does object recognition because that's something that's already being done, but we want to take a step further and then like I said, be able to identify what objects are going to be, how the object interacts with the users and how you can improve on that, like how it can improve workforce or their daily commute.
Again, that's specifically my question. Okay, is it like a third party that you want to use them, the third party technology that you want to integrate?
Oh, okay. So from our understanding is that if we use third parties, it's going to be harder to patent because it's already something that's open source. So we do want to go into something that's our own technology. But again, since there's stuff that already exists, we want to see where we can pick up from that, but also establish our own technology. That's how we're going to identify objects, how we're going to identify objects in relation to the user's daily life. That's where we're going to be different, and that's where we're going to be our own thing. We don't want to use third-party technology.
Can you speak about the commercialization and exit strategy that you have planned, and tell me more about partnerships that you might want to create in order to license the technology, or is you going to directly manufacture this yourself? And have you done the upfront costs of how much that's going to take to actually get this on the market?
Right, so commercialization of how we're going to manufacture this product. There is currently another company that is using Google Glasses as their platform to start off, and we thought that would be a great idea to start there and see how they're doing it and then transition into our own product. Again, that is not something we can patent, but so we don't want to go that route, but it is important to be able to use our software and implement it into that technology. Like I said, Texas has 700,000 visually impaired individuals. There's a high density in the Texas Triangle, so we want to be able to go there and meet with organizations and establish partnerships with such as the Houston Lighthouse for the Blind. They have their information, section for information and section for technology where they sell and provide information. They also have doctors who help out the users. So that's the organization that we want to target and get to understand better.
So if I understand, the actual algorithm is open source.
There's a lot of algorithms that are open source where it's like object recognition. That is something that's already worked on. But what we want to do is, again, how are those objects impactful to the user's daily life?
So as an investor, I'm thinking about what's proprietary that's defensible in the market so that I can make sure we can actually invest real money and help the company scale.
Right. So that is something that we want to learn more about through other programs. Again, if we continue with this project and continue prototyping and developing, we're going to be able to get metrics that we are going to be able to later fulfill. And to be able to, like I said, answer your question and how are we going to be different? How are we going to provide that that security of your investment? We're going to have to develop that technology in the aspect that needs developing. So where do we impact like the corporations? How are we going to make their employees' lives more productive? Well, that's the technology we want to develop and secure. So that way you have a secured investment.
And we are at time. Thank you.
Thanks so much.